So these scrolls really are the easiest to make. There's only a few ingredients and it comes together really easy. So firstly, going to take our 2 cups of self-raising flour and our salt, mix it together in a bowl, and then we're going to add the butter that we have cubed, and we're going to add that together like this. Next, we're just going to use our fingertips and we're going to blend this mix together until you get like a fine breadcrumb consistency, and when you push it together in your hands it should sort of hold together like this. So this is what you want. When you hold it in your hands and you press, you should get like a fine breadcrumb consistency. So to this we're going to add our milk. Now I'm going to add the milk a little bit at a time. I'm just going to use a knife to stir it together until it comes together into a ball. So you just put a little bit of milk in at a time, stir it through, and then you'll see it all combine together and form one ball. So please remember, it's free to subscribe, and then you'll be able to access the rest of Nanny D's recipes online. So after you've combined the milk with the flour and salt, this is what you'll end up with, one big ball. So next we're going to lightly flour a cutting board. We're going to pop our ball on there, and then we're just simply going to roll that out flat until we're left with a 30 by 40 rectangle. So I simply use a pizza cutter just to trim off the edges, and so it's all nice and neat and tidy and looks like this. So I'm going to take my sliced apples and cut them into chunks like this. Then we're going to get our caster sugar. We're going to add that to the apples, and we're going to use a stick blender to pulse all this down. So I simply just push the stick blender into the mix like this until it's completely combined. So next we're going to get this pureed apple, and I'm simply going to push it through a sieve just to get rid of the juice really, so that you're left with the pureed apple. Now it should look like this. So now I'm going to use a spoon, and I'm simply going to mix the butter with the cinnamon to form a nice smooth paste. And we're going to take the paste, put it in the center of our rectangle, and we're simply going to spread it right across until it looks like this. So now we're going to take our pureed apple. We don't need the juice, we only need the pulp. And we're going to place that across the sheet of the pastry, and once again we're just going to spread that evenly out all across the pastry until it looks like this. So next we're just going to get the edge of the pastry and make a tight roll right across the pastry until you're left with a log that looks like this. Now you cut this into 2 centimeter lengths, and then we're going to pop them onto a baking tray, and we're simply going to pop them in the oven. (190°) for about 30 minutes until cooked through. And this is what they look like when they're finished. So now we're simply going to do our frosting. So lastly, we're just going to take all these ingredients, mix them together with a spoon, and then we're just going to spoon them over the top of the scrolls, leave them for a 5-minute rest. Look at that, absolutely delicious.